From the way I saw the shot and the way the stomach was looking up, I just knew this one, there's nothing.
Now it is clear that Honorable Koimburi self-abducted himself. The former deputy president appeared here looking very dark. But because he knew there was no cross-examination in the National Assembly during the impeachment process, he had the audacity and the guts to come and try defend himself here. But he did not have the courage to face the house where he would be cross-examined. He faked sickness, ended up being admitted in Karen Hospital, apparently in the same room, same bed.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that nothing happens in the political space by a mere coincidence? That everything that happens in the political space is usually carefully planned and carefully executed to achieve a particular political objective? And did you also know that lies is the currency that is paid for playing politics? Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the alleged staged abduction of the Juja Member of Parliament, Honorable or Dishonorable George Koimburi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching my videos, then please join my channel by hitting the subscribe button below. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the possible political implications of staging this abduction play to the Wamunyoro camp. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can boldly say that William Samoei Ruto has really won massive. He has won big out of this foul play by Rigathi Gachagua's camp. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I can give you the scope of this analysis, the Juja Member of Parliament, Honorable George Koimburi, was allegedly abducted in Kiambu County just after attending a church service. And the Subaru that the Juja Member of Parliament was abducted with was allegedly one of his close political allies. That is a foul play. Ladies and gentlemen, the DCI has also revealed that the Honorable Member of Parliament, George Koimburi, spent a peaceful night in a hotel during the night of abduction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk about Karen Hospital and how Karen Hospital has been used by Rigathi Gachagua's camp. You remember during the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, the DCI and the people in the government have revealed that Rigathi Gachagua also faked his own illness. And that is the reason as to why he went to Karen Hospital. And nobody actually knew that Rigathi Gachagua faked his illness. And it has now come to be real that even Honorable George Koimburi just took himself to Karen Hospital to enjoy some good meal after actually staging everything. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Kimani Ichung'wah, all this was a political play, and it was a very dangerous political play. And he said that in that political play, Cleophas Malala is the script writer. The Juja Member of Parliament, Honorable George Koimburi, is the actor, and Rigathi Gachagua is the director of the entire play. That's the reason as to why you saw Rigathi Gachagua addressing Kenyans from Karen Hospital, whereas people from Ruto's camp were barred from visiting the Honorable Member of Parliament, George Koimburi. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very stupid political play that Rigathi Gachagua has adapted to combat the government of William Samoei Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua has since claimed to be a truthful man, and after staging all this abduction, it is believed that Rigathi Gachagua is part and parcel of this abduction, and that now Kenyans no longer believe in Rigathi Gachagua's truths. Ladies and gentlemen, now Honorable George Koimburi allegedly abducted himself because of the following reasons. There are some land fraud allegations that the Honorable Member of Parliament was actually linked with, and he has been summoned by the DCI to actually answer some of the allegations. And the member of parliament was just trying to plan this abduction to actually seek sympathy from Kenyans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua's camp has really complained that William Samoei Ruto is using police officers to abduct Kenyans, and he has also claimed that William Samoei Ruto has been sending goons to disrupt his meetings. You remember in Kakamega County during the DCP party launch by Cleophas Malala in the Kakamega County. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans are now not going to believe in these lies, and Kenyans are now not going to sympathize with the Rigathi Gachagua's camp. And Rigathi Gachagua, ladies and gentlemen, has really lost big in this foul play. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I saying that William Samoei Ruto's camp has really won in this play? First and foremost, William Samoei Ruto is now going to distance himself from the abduction cases that has really been happening in the country. He's now going to say that most of the abductions are staged by politicians to actually tarnish his government. Now, William Samoei Ruto has now gained political power. And actually, Rigathi Gachagua's camp has now lost political power. Ladies and gentlemen, what are now these implications to Rigathi Gachagua himself? Rigathi Gachagua has been summoned by DCI several times. And ladies and gentlemen, he has not gone to record statements, or he has not availed himself to the DCI. And what if today, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua becomes abducted? Will Kenyans sympathize with Rigathi Gachagua, or will Kenyans just say that Rigathi Gachagua has just abducted himself the way George Koimburi did? Now, actually, right now, every Kenyan is convinced that George Koimburi planned his own abduction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was actually a serious theme in the parliament, whereby different parliamentarians really condemned that action. You remember that the Kasipul member of parliament, Bure, was actually killed. And when the Juja member of parliament claimed to be abducted, that really rose serious security gaps in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. Just tell me your thoughts in the comment section as to whether you believe that this was a real abduction or it was a staged abduction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alois TV. In the event you're here for the first time, just join my channel by hitting the subscribe button.